Hello. It's really good. All right. Hello. My frame is like look really good. Basically it's split in half. Half of this wall and half of this sky. I'm kind of like in between middle of it. My frame is kind of like a really good legit. This is a kind of like a some problem in video artifact. Before I start kind of like a video artifact, I just kind of like admiring the frame, that how it kind of like look really good, and try to kind of like see that key, okay, am I really good or not, or things like that. A typical kind of like a way to look at myself and things, okay, I'm really good now, yeah, things like that. I don't know. But today weather is kind of like really good. It's really great. Okay, yeah. It's a little bit sunlight, but really like a cozy weather. Okay. Alright, should we start? Alright, yeah. Alright, so hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3908, probably. 8? Yeah, 8. Today's date is February 25, 2026. It's been almost like morning at 9:14 a.m. Alright, let's just jump into the question. Okay, yeah. So let's go. By the way, this is the book that I'm reading, okay, and this is kind of like a couple of questions that I hear. Basically is this thing now. Okay, I'm gonna kind of like ask question first, then I will kind of like tell you. Question is, do I compare my financial progress to other? How does that affect me? That's a really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? Well, a couple of weeks ago, I read a book named Psychology of Money, and it's really good book. I highly recommend to you to read that book. Okay, yeah. Basically, is this thing na ki whatever that book kind of like tell me, okay, yeah, or whatever the book kind of like provide me value regarding about information and things, I wanted to implement. Basically, I think that na ki reading a book is a one thing, but if you can't implement things on the book, then it doesn't really make sense that how many books that you read or things like that, because these books are just piece of paper. These are just a piece of paper, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. If I'm not implementing this book in my life, if I am not kind of like a somebody person who just kind of like implementing that key, what is actually book kind of like telling me that and that, then that book doesn't really have any kind of like a value, nothing really at all. It is really essential for me for utilize or implement the value that it kind of like taught me. Okay, yeah. And basically this, that's one of the kind of like a biggest kind of like a thing that I realized, that so many people are kind of like telling me that read the book, which is good, yeah, which is really good, but it doesn't really make sense that if you read the book and if you're not implementing things. Basically this is you are kind of like reading a book regarding about how to become a rich, and it kind of like in that book particular kind of like give the action plan and things and that, but you are not taking that action, then what makes sense of reading that book? It doesn't really make sense at all. And this is what kind of like somebody is this thing, because I seen a lot of people who read book. Obviously those are number are still less, okay, as compared to people who don't really read the book. Okay, yeah. But I seen a lot of people who read the book but not implementing the values in their life and things and that. I don't want to become like them. I want to implement the whatever book kind of like tell me. I have to be utilize that value in my life. So how do I supposed to implement? Well, first of all is that ki whatever kind of like a book telling me, I have to answer to myself. I have to ask question to myself and give the answer. Okay, yeah. So a couple of week ago, I kind of like read a book, Psychology of Money, and I wanted to implement. So I realized that I should supposed to ask question to myself. So I went to ChatGPT and kind of like say this thing that I wanted to implement the value in this book and things and that suggests me at least like 20 questions, so that I would kind of like add value in my life. Okay, yeah. So ChatGPT kind of like suggest me those 20 questions, and this is one of those questions. The question says, do I compare my financial progress to other, and how does that affect me? Okay, yeah. By the way, like these question are in actually mobile phone. Okay, yeah. Like since I'm recording this thing, so that's why I'm kind of like wrote this question in here. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So question is, do I compare my financial progress to other, and how does that affect me? Financial progress. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Basically, this thing I'm kind of like telling you a couple of things. Okay, yeah. First of all, is that ki we all are human, and we always been compare. Okay, always been compare to ourselves or kind of like a someone or something and things and that. Okay, and because of we love to compare, we kind of like create a number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 10 is greater than 9, 9 is greater than 8, or things like that. Obviously we do not invent number system for comparison, but numbers are kind of like telling us how good you are or how bad you are. Okay, yeah. And this is the one of the biggest thing I realized, that key our skills or our talent does not measure in number. We have a lot of numbers, like basically every person is actually judged by the number. Okay, yeah. How many subscribers do you have, how many views do you have, how many grades that you get, how many percentage that you have, how much rank you have, or things and that. From my point of perspective, for whatever the life that I live, I realize that ki numbers are not a measurable unit to measure a human mind or thought or things like that. And why? um, I'm gonna kind of like give you a couple of example in the history. Okay, yeah. Basically this thing na ki the Albert Einstein is really good. Like he is a scientist. We all knew it, what he did. Okay, but he was really good in physics. Rest of the subject he was not. Okay, then basically this thing na ki I try to thinking about that point of perspective, that what if Albert Einstein was in the school and he was failing so many subjects, but he kind of like somebody outperform in physics and mathematics. So basically, is he passed the test or not? Like this is kind of like a thing that na ki like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Okay, yeah, because sometimes na humans do such a thing that so extraordinary that literally you cannot compare in number. Okay, literally you cannot. Okay, like who is better, who is not, who is greater and who is smaller, you cannot able to compare that thing. Because I think that na ki human mind is flexible in itself, and it just meant to be evolved. Okay, yeah, but it has some sort of constraint. Okay, constraint means what? Like some people are really good at something, and some people are not good at that something. Like Albert Einstein are really good at physics or mathematics, but he was not really good at social science or history or political science. Nothing really at all. Probably I didn't really knew it, but he was not really that good. Okay, yeah. And this is what it is. Like our brain are like basically made up of a kind of like a somebody, like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. It's a very like a very difficult to understand. Okay, yeah. Like basically this thing na, like some people are really good at one thing, but they are really bad at everything. Okay, yeah. And basically this thing na ki I don't know, it's very hard to explain. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to explain as simple as possible as you can. Okay, yeah. So let's just say that ki I am kind of like somebody really good at something, but I am bad at something, really bad. Like it doesn't really have any scale, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. But our education system or our society are counting all of it. Like okay, let me tell you that my education system, I am from India, so I'm telling you from my education system point of perspective. Okay, yeah. We have multiples of subjects. Okay, yeah. I'm sure in your country you have those things too. Okay, yeah. Science, mathematics, history, geography, kind of like a social science. Okay, multiple subjects, biology, things and that and that. Okay, yeah. A particular person doesn't know that what he is kind of like a good at. Like I didn't really know I am good at what. Okay, yeah. I when I was kind of like a schooling, I have multiples of subject, and I was not really good at like I can't understand things and that and that. Is actually because of that words, because I can't process words. I process through images. Okay, yeah, I consume information through images. Okay, but whatever the thing is that my overall talent is judged by multiples of subject, geography, history, things and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. And that overall subject and kind of like have a test, and from that test it kind of like a give me average, and from that average that represent you are the 56 percentage. Okay, yeah. Like basically in the 12th standard. Okay, yeah, I got 49 percentage, 49.23 something percentage. Okay, yeah. In chemistry I got like every subject I got like a bottom marks, like literally bottom, like a 35, 30, 36, 35, 36, like a very very bottom mark. Okay, yeah. Like literally you need a pass, like if you want to pass any subject you need at least 35 marks, and I'm getting 35, 36, 39, almost everything on that thing. And from the score it kind of like a say that I am 49 percentage, and I realized that how fucked up I was. But is that is that thing like basically this is, I asked this question. I am really good at like astrophysics. I love to know science. I love physics. I love social politics. I love history. I love geography too. I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing that I love consuming information, but 49 percentage, it doesn't really make sense. Like basically I realized that like I don't know how do I supposed to explain. Like basically I'm recording this artifact throughout this entire decade. Okay, yeah, and I realize myself a lot. I am really hungry for information. I wanted to consume information as much as I want. Okay, yeah. So if I am that particular person who wants to learn, who wants to kind of like somebody get more information and things and that, then why my academic score is very less? Okay, why is that? Then I realized that dude, that is a completely wrong system that we have. Like basically is this thing na ki all the development is actually happened in my head to know about some sort of stuff, things and that. It actually happened after I kind of like somebody like in the diploma, like when I started recording artifact, like basically in 2015. Since 2015 I started recording artifact. Okay, yeah. And since then I learn lot of things. Okay, yeah. Or I push myself to learn lot of things and I learn it. Okay, yeah. So you just realize that the percentage that I'm getting, the grades that I'm getting at school and college, are those mine or are those like what what exactly is this thing that like basically I don't really understand. And also let me, I am not done yet. I seen a lot of people who are really really good at studies. They kind of like take almost like a 97 or 98 percentage, which is like considered as a kind of like one of the highest percentage. Okay, yeah. But they didn't really achieve anything in his life. They haven't really done something different. It's just like I always kind of like confuse that the people who kind of like a get score the families, the society, everyone kind of like a celebrate them, that they are kind of like a celebrity, they are kind of like a somebody is saying that they are kind of like do something really good and things and that and that. But in the end, they did not. Like, how many people, successful people that you know, let's just say Elon Musk. Is Elon Musk is really good at academic? Definitely not. Mark Zuckerberg, he dropped the college. Um, Bill Gates, still not really that good. Einstein, also not really good. All the people that I knew that they changed their life, they not only their life, they changed the entire world perspective, and they are not really good at academic score. They are not really good at that. And I was like very confused that the people who can change their life or change the society or change their entire world, their score is a very deliberately low. But the people who kind of like are really good at getting score, they are nothing. They just meant nothing. So so what is exactly is this education system that we live in? Okay, yeah, is our education system are kind of like somebody telling us a proper answer or proper number that this particular person is good, this particular person is not good, things like that? Because I don't really see in it. And obviously you also kind of like agree with me too, like there are so many kind of like some people who score so much in the school or colleges, but they did nothing in his life, or they did something for themselves, or they just kind of like somebody very normal. They, I don't know, why does kind of like a somebody academic score, or why does kind of like a schooling and things, they kind of like a celebrate that those people are kind of like a really legendary, and they did not anything at all considered as legendary. That's a kind of like a thing. So I realized that our education system or academic system is not good. They are not meant to be kind of like a tell us that which person is kind of like a really good to kind of like a change the world or change the life or become better life and things like that. And that is true. I realize that our education system or my academic system or the number that we are getting is not the exact representation of what we are, how smart that we are. Because also another thing, our smartness or how smart we are does not kind of like it does not meant to be kind of like a somebody categorized by number. Because numbers are, we could understand, like a basically 9 is greater than 7, 7 is greater than 5. These are the number that we understand. But human mind is very flexible in itself. Okay, yeah, in some point he's really good at something, really good, like a ultra level good, but in some sort of thing not really good. Like let me give you, I am kind of like a telling this kind of like a saying really good stuff. Okay, yeah, but I'm kind of like a really worse at knowing people names. Okay, yeah, it's one of the kind of like a somebody problem. Another thing is that relationship, basically I am really bad at like a like I don't know how do I supposed to, I don't really want to know the people names or people remember. Okay, yeah, let me okay, I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Okay, yeah, I'm also belong to the India, and we have so many relatives, kaka, mama, chacha, chachu, chachi, god not whoever they are. Okay, yeah, I remember the people regarding about how much they value provide in me. I might not forget my friends. Why? Because they are very big provide value in me. My entire happiness source is actually come from them. So I will not forget them. Okay, yeah. But in family relatives, there are so many people that I don't know who the fuck is this guy, and he is considered as like my relatives and things like that. And basically, I haven't really seen once or maybe twice, and that's it. Okay, yeah. And I don't know, I just I'm really bad at kind of like somebody remember who is kaka, who is mama and things like that. It's not because of bad, I don't want to remember. Yeah, I literally I don't want to remember that thing. Why? Because I think that now I provide kind of like a somebody value. The particular person who kind of like a provide value or things like that, I would kind of like somebody remember them. But if that particular person doesn't really have that value to remember. Why should I supposed to be remember that particular person? Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, I think I might have a lot of flaws too. It's just not just one thing, but there is a lot of things. But there is a one thing for sure I realize that कि numbers are not a kind of like a somebody thing that he judge a person or a judge a kind of like a how good is that person or how bad is that person. Number cannot tell that thing reality. Okay, yeah. Now there is also another thing that I want to talk. Same. Okay, yeah. When I was doing a job, I was earning almost like a 14,000 rupees per month. Okay, yeah. And I was putting a lot of effort, like 8 hour, 10 hour, things and that and that. From at that time, I was think that ki if I get 50,000 rupees salary, I would consider myself as a like a ultra rich person. Okay, 50,000 rupees. Okay, yeah. And I was thinking that ki I am kind of like a very ultra rich person. Then some of my friend who got a job and they got the salary. One of my friend who get the salary for almost like a 1 lakh rupees per month. Okay, yeah. And when I heard the news that he got the placement, okay, yeah, that is good. And he is getting almost like a his package is almost like a 12 lakh rupees per year. That means he was earning 1 lakh rupees per month. And I was like, boy, literally 1 lakh rupees per month. Because before that, I was not even kind of like somebody expecting that ki someone could able to be earn this amount of money. Like I heard so many people could earn, but I never really kind of like somebody I never really kind of like somebody think that ki people could earn 1 lakh rupees. Like basically is this thing na ki Elon Musk is a so rich person. I know, we know, everything know, but that richness is unimaginary. So that unimaginary kind of like somebody is this thing that we cannot imagine. Like basically is this thing na I have billion of dollar, but I cannot able to imagine that what do I supposed to do with that $1 billion. Why? Because I haven't really seen them, I haven't really spent them, I haven't really know what is the exact value of the billion. If I know, okay, this is the billion, how this number value and things and that and that. Okay, yeah, I didn't really knew it. Okay, yeah. So for me, that billion number is doesn't really make sense at all to me. Why is that? Because I haven't really experienced. But my friend got 1 lakh rupees salary. I realized that, oh my god, 1 lakh rupees salary is really good. Because 1 lakh rupees salary is I could imagine that what he could able to be do with 1 lakh rupees salary. Okay, yeah, I know 1 lakh rupees salary is a far lesser than billion number, but it's a kind of like a kind of like a real fact. A billion, a kind of like a 1 lakh rupees salary. And I will realize that kid, dude, this particular person is kind of like somebody really good, really rich. He will kind of like became rich and things and that and that. And I kind of like somebody that ki I kind of like feel like that ki this particular person is a kind of like somebody is this thing that ki better than everyone. Why? Is because of the he is actually earning this much amount of money. And still I also became wrong in here because I still compare people with the number. Okay, yeah, because my friend got 1 lakh rupees salary, so I would think that okay, this is kind of like somebody, he is earning this much amount of salary, that means he is like worth it. Okay, and things and that and that. But then reality hit me that he is not. It's really not. Okay, yeah. Like as I mentioned now, even if I'm say this thing that he number cannot decide the person or perspective or people. Okay, yeah. And I realize, okay, yeah, because I seen lot of really good people who are deserve to be more. Okay, yeah. And I don't know how do I suppose to say. It's a very like it's a very kind of like a thing that na ki it's a it's a kind of like a thing that ki um, numbers is a kind of like a thing that we could judge them very easily, very easily. Okay, yeah, but in reality it's not. It's definitely not. Which person is better, we cannot judge by number. Yeah, it is kind of like a truth, by the way. Or maybe I experience this thing, or I don't know, but this is what I feel. Okay, yeah, I was kind of like a thinking that my friend is actually earning that much amount of money, so he's a legit, but he's not. I seen a lot of people who are really good at something, but they are not earning that much amount of money. So are they not legit, or are they not kind of like a good? That's a that's the thing. Okay, yeah. So the numbers, or how much number that you have, how much salary that you have, how much subscriber that you have, or how much kind of like a likes that you have, or how much wealth that you have, it does not determine the person capability, or person what that particular person would be. And we cannot able to judge that particular person by numbers. That is true. Okay, yeah. And this is just a human. Let's talk about the skill. Skill is not even judged by the number, literally not. Like I seen a lot of reality shows. Some people are dancing, judges are kind of like a giving the number. Okay, 10 out of 9, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 8, 10 out of 9. And I was realized that key, what that number makes thing change. Like what is exactly that number gonna do that thing? Okay, yeah. It just nothing really at all, na. Okay, yeah. Like let me give you another thing. I was kind of like a really fan of one reality show, Dance India Dance. Okay, it's a dancing show, and in that thing there are multiples of kind of like assembly dancers. Okay, yeah. um, Now there is a one character, there is a one dancer, and his dancing is really well. His name is a Dharmesh sir. Okay, yeah. He is really good dancer, really good dancer, but he did not win that competition. He did not win that competition. But today he is a really legit choreographer slash actor too, and he's kind of like a doing really well in itself. Um, Arjit Singh is a singer. He also debut in multiples of reality shows. He did not win that many, like nothing really at all. Probably like when I watch Arjit Singh, kind of like somebody the when he was child and he was kind of like a try to sing and things like that. Okay, yeah. He also debut in kind of like a Doordarshan reality show. Maybe I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah. And he also performed there. Didn't really win the prize or didn't really score anything at all. Right now, Arjit Singh is a one of the global star. Literally, just think that na ki global artists are trying to collaborate with him. So it just kind of like a feel something really wrong. That ki, and basically the people who judge Arjit Singh, they are also legit too. Like they already kind of like a master of their craft and things like that. Obviously, they are kind of like a providing some sort of number, is a very legit number. But after all those things, he didn't really win the reality show, but he just doing really crazy thing. Like basically every second Bollywood movie is from Arjit Singh, and not because of his kind of like a sing well. The way that he sing was like really amazing, really good. I also love his song, by the way. Okay, yeah. So so what is exactly wrong? The judges are wrong? No. The Arjit Singh wrong? No. Then what's wrong? Wrong is that number system. That is a kind of like a thing that key we cannot judge people by number. That is true. But let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah. Numbers are very easy to judge. Okay, yeah. Let's just say, how is this particular person? Then probably we could judge in so many factors, like how he looks and things and that and that and that and that. we try to thinking about what he looks and things, like basically judge that particular person, our answer would be really vague. We might gonna say, okay, this is really good, this is really like that, like his styling is really good, he sing really good, he walk really good, or things and that. But it does not kind of like somebody give you kind of like somebody proper judge. Okay, yeah. So that's why we invented the number system, because number system are very easy to understand. Okay, even a normal person will also easy to understand. Okay, this particular person score 10, so this is good. This particular person score 7, so yeah. In short sentence, it's a very easy to understand. Okay, yeah. So that's why they put the number. Okay, yeah. So basically, I realize in myself that the success, or whatever the people who achieve success, is not kind of like somebody depends on number. It depends on how much they've been through. Okay, yeah. Specifically is this thing, how much they fail and rise up. Okay, success is depend upon that ki they fail multiple times and they rise up again, they fail again, they rise up again, they fail again, they rise up again. They do this cycle every single time, and throughout this they also improving, and that is a fact, that is a true. Okay, yeah. Because a number kind of like a give you cap. I win the Indian Idol, so I am a really good singer, is a cap. Okay, yeah, it is a cap. That is one of the biggest thing I realized, that when you get this cap, you might not improve, because you already achieve so many things. You think that I am the Indian Idol, but that is not. Okay, yeah. I think that na ki the success is kind of like a depend upon how good I was today, how do I supposed to make it better tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Having that thought process would kind of like a make successful. It's not number, it's not thing. In reality, in real life, no one judge it. In reality, we have to be judge ourselves regarding about that key, who is actually kind of like a, how do I supposed to make myself better in things, or that in my skills or my career and things and that. Okay, yeah. And this question is kind of like a somewhat something resonate the same. Like basically the question is actually say this thing that ki, do I compare my financial progress? Okay, this is what kind of like a thing that when you try to compare the thing, obviously you will gonna compare the number, like this and that, like who is actually kind of like earning which amount of money and things and that. But doesn't really make sense at all, because the person who actually earn money more is not the right person probably, or maybe kind of like somebody else. I'm not really sure. That is what it is. Okay, yeah. Because number is not, and because now when you try to compare, it's just like, how the question is that ki, do I compare my financial progress to other? Well, I was kind of like a comparing my financial progress to other. I was kind of like a comparing that ki, this particular person earn this much amount of money and that. So basically he's really good. I always compare, but I realized that ki, no, comparison is not like basically if I have to compare, then I have to be compare myself, like I have to be compare my kind of like something that key my future, like basically this thing I make sure that my today is much better than tomorrow. So I have to be kind of like somebody this thing, try to make sure that key like a oh thank you.